Hey, Home and Texture, I'm Demanti O'Bryant. Welcome to my home in Atlanta, Georgia. So this home is a 1960s home, single family. I moved into it in September of 2019, so I've been here for almost 5 years. So I was inspired by a trip to the Louvre in Paris, and at the time, I just didn't see any black art. I just saw separate rooms for Louis the 14th home and the Asian section, the Egyptian section, those types of things. So I wanted to lay out my home in that manner. And then as I started incorporating black art, then it also brought a little bit more complexity to the ongoing themes that were already present. And now we're in my entryway. This is meant to feel like Greek Roman, the arches which were already here when I came into the home. So I already had this vision in mind. And we have this, which is a 1920s blackamoor lamp. So the Moors, which were very active in the Iberian Peninsula, and they actually ruled it for almost 700 years. This was my first Moor in the home, and I think the third oldest in the home. There's about 10 of them now. And then above it is a photo by Delphine Diallo with the mask made by Joanne Petit-Frere. And this came about through a relief fund for Haiti. I think they play well together, and I think the eyes peering into the next room flow very organically. Welcome to my living room. It's actually the first room that you'll see when you enter the home. The theme that I wanted to encompass this space is an Italian, French, Baroque, a little bit Old English. We have black art incorporated, of course, throughout the space. We'll start here. These two busts on either side are by Selma Burke. She was a huge influence and huge factor into the Harlem Renaissance movement, and she actually did the portrait on our dime. And in the middle, this is a bust, and I thought it poetic to make this scene right here with the pillow, the Spanish-style sword. When I was thinking of the Baroque period with the Louis the 14th and all of those, I went between whether I wanted to have a wallpaper, some kind of gold stencil. I chose to just do a deep dark chocolate with the gold frames to offset, to give that feeling of understated luxury. I'll go ahead and say all of the furniture is actually secondhand. So this furniture piece, I liked the design of the table and also that it's suspended, obviously to kind of imitate that Baroque period of art. This is Egyptia. She is a 19th century oil painting. This picture, which is one of the largest pictures I've seen of a black person done that old, 200 plus years ago. And then opposite is something from 2021. So we have something from the 19th century, and then we have something from the current day. And this is by a Nigerian artist named Stanley Ugonabo. I like how the colors and as well as the flow of the clouds move throughout the room with these two, and the reds also through the halo from the beads, they kind of bounce off of one another. This large painting, which is of me, this was done by Ruth Hardy, and she actually painted this when she was 18 years old. I found her on Instagram, and this is incorporating just different things throughout the home. So these are one of those mirrors that we just spoke about, and I really wanted to encompass different cultures and different time frames. I began my art collecting journey at the end of 2021. Usually what pulls at me when it comes to collecting new art is a movement and a narrative behind the piece versus just an aesthetically pleasing image or sculpture. I would say Represented within this home in the collection, I would estimate it to be around or at least 35 countries. And culturally, one country can have 10 different tribes. So it could be multiple tribes within one country or different perspectives on religions. So I would say when it comes to cultural standpoint, there is countless. When it came to the themes of this space, I really just wanted to bring color, not necessarily a culture or a location. I just wanted to bring a burst of color and a burst of almost busyness to offset some of these thematic spaces. This mask is one of the more unique masks in the house. It really intrigued me because I never saw a mask with these hands extended from it. It's just very interesting, and then it's all done in wood. Here in the centerpiece, we have a sculpture which is by the Shona people of Zimbabwe. And this is done in butter jade, which is a stone that they retrieve from waterbeds. So the darker grains are algae incorporated throughout the stone. And for a size to weight ratio, this is about 150 pounds. And she's only maybe 2 feet tall. She brings life to the space. One of the more interesting things in the home, especially in this space, is this Tanzanian chair. It's from the Nyamwezi people. And this piece really spoke to me. The carvings throughout, the scarification, the back, it's just a very beautiful chair. So this tapestry above is actually by a Brazilian artist named Lila Deva. She had a dream and she woke up and she painted it. Throughout the piece, there are copper, brass, pearl elements. There's even mirrors for the eyes. Essentially, this feline figure is guiding her through this crystal prism in search of a book. Now, follow me to my den. This is meant to feel Gothic, medieval, so there's iron elements, there's religious elements incorporated throughout. We will talk about this painting, which is called Alpha and Omega. It's by Ande Magoso out of South Africa, and it's his re-envisioning of what it's like growing up as a child between two tribes. So this is his mother, this is his father, representative as the animals that they use within their cultures, the Xhosa people of South Africa and the Zulu people of South Africa. So this lamp, which I also got secondhand, really to bring along that religious Gothic feel. This piece is a mixed media work by Komika Patton. It's one of my favorite pieces in the home, and it's really about, from a West African spiritualism sense, channeling your ancestors. So you'll see different religious practices or religious beliefs when it comes to the African pantheon and the African diaspora throughout. This piece is also in Tabi Sung Kikana out of South Africa. I really like the movement within the piece. It feels spiritual without her needing to explain what exactly it means. This table, which has many coffee table books on Africa as well as masks, this is actually where I started learning about the different tribes of Africa. So it's covered East Africa, West Africa. It's even covered some Brazilian religions when it comes to Candomblé, and then the masks incorporated out are actually mostly Congo. Kakunga, Yombe, and then this is Cameroon, this is bronze, and this is the Tikar people, and this is the Kuba people. At my fireplace, we have just various also brown tone things. I wanted things to feel very drab in here. I know people don't say that when it comes to decor, but I wanted it to feel like you were in some kind of castle. You wanted to have that mood. Below, we have little Cameroonian people. They're from the Bois tribe, and this is another Shona sculpture. This is in verdite. This painting is by Andre Ford. He's out of Savannah, Georgia, and he really wanted to bring religion to an easily understandable perspective for everybody. So his art helps him work through problems, or some people might call them demons, but he's definitely one of my favorite artists. So on the door, I have a door-sized piece by Joey Quinones, and it's about their relationship with the church, feeling shut out, feeling confined. So they wanted it to feel very coffin-like in the shape of it. And I thought also with it being on the stairs, it's like you're ascending into a different space. as we make our way through the upstairs hallway, the theme of this is more so a conversation between the ancestral and the extraterrestrial. So there'll be a lot of themes of Afrofuturism, Afro-surrealism. So you may ask yourself, or ask me, why are the figures lining the stairs, lining the hallway? The best way to put it is, remember Lion King when Simba was about to arrive and all the animals lined up? It just gives that feeling of you're being welcomed into the space. It just feels like a moment where all of the objects are in appreciation of you arriving. And now we're here in my bedroom, which has a more Asian theme. We will start with this piece, which is on the door. This is one of these antique Chinese theater costumes. I really just enjoy the intricate detailing with the gold threading. And yes, this is one of my favorite pieces, and actually displayed as art instead of as clothing. This piece is a Buddhist crown. So it's actually all carved out of wood, and it has a rock crystal at the top, but you see all the Buddhas and their lotus flowers. It's a very unique piece. And above it is a art piece by Frank Zarate, my first piece by him, and it's mixed media. So it's marker, acrylic paint. So it's all these different elements incorporated. When I saw the artists working on it, I saw them drawing all the faces into the coat. So that's what really sold me on this piece. And the pink really just focus you right into it when you come into the house. And on this end of the room, we have the oldest Moor within the home. With the gold and the blue florals, I thought that they fit best in this Asian room. Incorporated in this are my many different headpieces and articles of coin swords and things. So this is my additional bedroom. The theme of this is fantasy folklore. So this space is meant to incorporate different tales and traditions throughout the African diaspora. Some Southern tales, some Haitian tales, some Jamaican tales, Brazilian. This piece is called Ancestral Embrace. It's actually my first gallery purchase that I've ever done. And it's about communing with your ancestors. So these are all the matriarchs in our family lineage, and they all have this tattoo symbol. And when she gets into this space, it ignites almost like a portal, a spiritual portal is open, and this is her convening with them. So this section is a bit whimsical. We have a frog with a clown riding swans and stuff, but we will talk about these two sculptures mainly. So this sculpture below is by Chris Malone. He's an artist out of Maryland. You could see his doll-making qualities in the glass eyes, but you can also see the tribalism and the Afrofuturism incorporated throughout the markings. And above, we have a sculpture that I actually found in Cape Town. It really reminds me of the front of the ships with the ship mast, I would say. This piece is called Tell Me the Truth by Terrence Maluleke out of South Africa. This is about a boy that's been stripped away from his true purpose in life. This is one of the most bright colors in the room. I wanted to use all the primary colors throughout this space to really elevate this piece. Welcome to probably the calmest room in the home. This is my African savannah room. The orange I really wanted to feel very warm and inviting. The pieces incorporated throughout, which are at least 20 different cultures, just feels like a big hug to me. These are all Dan masks from Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire. And above it is a belt from the Turkana people, actually made of antelope tailbones. The color of the room, I really wanted each color to not be so on the nose of what I was trying to accomplish. I actually wanted to feel like mud. The orange really works with this room. This couch that I'm sitting on, which is the oldest couch, it's 200 years old. I really like the shape of it. So Everything's happened almost by accident, but the greens and browns, even throughout this couch, really work with the rest of the colors of the room. My favorite piece in this room, contemporary-wise, would be this sculpture right here, which is by Woodrow Nash. A visitor actually said, funny thing that she's pregnant and she birthed your whole really infatuation with art. She's symbolic of that. Yeah, I will never grow tired of her, never sell her. She's got prime real estate by herself on this table. The home evolves as I learn more, as I travel more, speak to people. When I first moved in, there were really no masks in the home. And then as I became more acquainted to what traditionally or culturally used objects would look like, then I bring them also into the collection. So it's come to encompass everything from photograph to mixed media work to sculpture, even some quilting is somewhere throughout the collection. I wanted my home to feel like a museum. To some people that may be too much to live in, but for me it keeps me excited. I am Demanti O'Bryant and you're watching Home and Texture House Tours.